Hey fam. Alright, we are here with our star, engineer JR Lupo. We are going to get ultra exclusive drone footage from up above, and this is pretty much, we're rocking. Let me just slide this guy right in here. So if you're standing in front of the computer, it's getting filmed. Alright. And then here you go.
And then there's like a chair over there with a footrest, like one of these chairs, and I mean, we could get bugs, but it'd be funny as fuck for someone to just be lounging in front of the fucking tracks.
Do you want to come sit over here and see on the screen? Sure. What the drone sees?
Oh, yeah.
Alright, we're recording now, and so if you guys just talk into the mic.
Alright, we're recording now.
Hold the mic.
So if you guys
just talk into the mic. I don't know if you want to hold the mic since you're going to be having the best information.
Alright.
It's like, the fuck is that?
Wow. Yeah, there's the hump right there. You can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, what are we seeing here?
So this is, let's see, this is the rock pile tracks on the right here. And then this is just like a crossover, and then but this right here is what we're really seeing. It's the hump yard basically. There's like a switchman that stands next to a shanty over here, and the one that we saw that's moving really slow. They're basically shoving it backwards. There's a locomotive on this end, and they're shoving it backwards up this hill, and then right at the crest of this hill, the switchman pulls the pin, and then the cars free roll down the other end, and then there's somebody that has you can see if you go to like this area right here. I don't know if you can get over, kind of like right there. So all these tracks, there's somebody that has controls. Yeah, see how they're rolling free? Like he's kicking them in groups of 2 or 3 or whatever, and they're rolling free, and then they'll slam into the cars that are in these rails, and then they have. They're called retarders, and they're like these little metal things that are kind of like operated on. It's like it has a piston, and so it basically hits the wheels and slows down the cars from rolling too fast, So and they're able to it's designed to where that if there's cars, say 100 yards down, the retarders will not put on as much force. But if there's cars that are 30 feet, it's going to put a lot more force and slow that car down more. So that the goal is basically so that these cars that are free rolling, they don't slam into those ones, but rather they just the knuckles just kiss and just lock up perfectly, and there's nothing.
See. So the cars are sitting on the line right now.
They're actually rolling. They should be, I believe.
Yeah, they're real slowly getting sorted.
Yeah, see, this is rolling free on its own. There's no locomotive. It's just rolling down a hill.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's you wouldn't want to be walking through here, and yeah, these pistons that are on those rails, the retarders will just slow these down, So
they literally regulate the speed of these free floating. Wow.
Right, and then sometimes it doesn't gather up. Like, see how there's just like this straggler right here, and some of them are just kind of sitting and they're not moving. So they'll come in later with a locomotive and they'll tie on to it and then carry on, hook onto the next one, and kind of put them all together. Oh, that one actually is rolling, I think.
All right, let's just sit there still.
Yeah.
They're just slugging.
This is basically where they build trains. So inbound trains come in, and then they split them up into, it's like if they're going to go across the country, like they come in from places more local, and then they just kind of sort it all out until they have a train that's like, okay, all these cars need to go to industries around Kansas City or whatever, And so that's what they're building. On the left over here, that's the outbound trains. And then I think maybe main line right there. Is that main line where that train's sitting, or is that? Yeah, it should be main line. I can't quite tell.
I don't know. It looks like this one's moving.
Yeah.
I'm not super familiar with the yard setup here.
Right. I mean, it's number 1 and 2 track on the very, very far left down there. So I don't know. I don't know if we're looking at those or if it's. I think that is the main lines, because I think where these auto racks right here. Shout out to Quad 8. I think that's. Yeah, I think the yard tracks are right here, and then there's a little bit of a gap before the main. Yeah, you're pretty much on the main line right there. The grainers over there are, and then these are all the yard tracks. There's a nice little road in between here. And yeah, these are like whenever somebody's trying to hop a train, this is basically what they're, this is kind of the area that they're eyeballing, all these tracks right here. Departure yard, yeah. I can't remember exactly how many tracks there are. A lot. I want to say over 20, but I'm not positive. That's so weird, just seeing autos in a yard in general. I mean, you didn't really see that back in the day, unless it was a yard where they were building autos. But for them to come into the yard here was never a thing before. But I think with that PSR stuff, precision scheduled railroading, they started putting autos on regular manifest trains, which kind of sucks because autos are good for 70 and manifest trains are good for 50. So they basically ruined what could have been a good auto rack train running at 70 and made it a 50 mile an hour train. Am I close enough to the mic or?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I think you're good.
All right.
Yep.
And yeah, I don't know what else there is to really commentate on at this point. It's just, we're just kind of in the yard there. Departure tracks. What is that place? Oh, that's that auto wrecking place. Okay. And then Walmart's up that way, I guess.
Yeah.
And this is the, I guess the west mouth of the yard, basically. That's where you can see it kind of funnels down, and eventually it's just the main lines at that point up there.
Well, that's what we see right there.
Yep. So this thing must be, can we even see it out there?
It's about 1,000 feet out.
Okay.
It's
Oh,
getting
yeah.
closer.
Wow, it's moving kind of fast.
Yeah, it's pretty slow mode right now. Trying to.
It looked faster than I kind of pictured it going.
I mean, on this it just looks slow. We're just chugging along.
Yeah.
In real life, it's probably moving pretty fast.
Yeah.
Plane come over a little bit ago, and it was just about right in the path where the drone was for a little bit.
As long as they stay above 1,500 feet, I'll stay below
Well,
400.
at least 1,000.
So what's this guy doing right here?
I don't know. That looks like car department, maybe? I can't really make out the vehicle. Oh, yeah, it looks like car department. So that's probably like his little shanty. And I'm assuming, I don't know for sure, but it could be. Actually, it looks like a container, so I don't know if they have a little place built inside there wet, but it might just be tools or something. But he's basically just waiting to probably run air brake tests on the trains that are ready to depart. So he's just kind of hanging out, waiting for the next call to go do his thing. Carmen, they basically deal with the cars, they'll drive along the tracks and make sure the brakes are all applying and releasing, and checking the air hoses. You know, just making sure the train's going to be able to stop once it's on the move. That's kind of their job. You can't leave the yard until you've got a slip from those guys that, you know, basically gives you the okay to leave.
So do they do all like the maintenance out of this yard as well as all that?
They do everything here, yeah. I believe this is the second largest yard in North America. Is that right or wrong?
Largest yard
I
in the
don't
Western
know.
Hemisphere.
Yeah, I believe North Platte. I think is the only one bigger.
Yeah, North Platte's huge.
Yeah, and then West Colton kind of comes close to this. I don't know. They're shaped differently, but yeah, I believe this is the second largest. I think it's 7 miles long, if I'm not mistaken.
And a helicopter is coming across.
Oh, he's kind of low.
They're somewhere around 5 miles
No,
here.
it's a news helicopter or something. It's got a rig on the front.
Oh,
He's getting his aerial footage too.
right.
Fucking foamers, okay? God damn.
Yeah, they're serious. And this is all just, this is like maintenance of way probably. I see a bunch of ties, and that's just where they store all the stuff to rebuild the tracks and whatnot.
Coming right at us. I think they caught us. We're going to be on the evening news. Anybody have a TV?
They're definitely affecting our signal.
Shit.
Going on over there.
So if we drove into the yard,
Have an
like in the
emergency
van,
come
would
home
anyone like
button?
notice, say anything,
does.
anything?
Huh. You can drive all through there. I mean, if you drove around like enough to look suspicious, maybe, but
Right.
and there's probably certain areas where I wouldn't say, you know, we should drive around through the whole thing, but there's definitely portions of it that you know, I would drive out different exits and stuff, you know, like you can kind of go from the yard office over to
We should do that.
the fuel station.
We should go in and steal some shit.
Alright, I'm completely turned around, you guys.
Oh wow, I don't even know. We're in a neighborhood somewhere.
I'd say do a 180.
There's the locomotive pushing the hump.
Yeah.
It's got those flashing lights
Oh,
indicate.
it's the container in front of it.
It's a
I'm like,
remote.
why is it white?
Alright, so if you see the numbers going down, that means it's coming back. Describe the train.
This number here.
Yeah,
yeah, it's
so
coming back.
This is this looks like something sitting in the rock pile track. It's just
I guess it's a grain train.
it looks like I don't really see anything different. It's all
Yeah, that direction, I believe.
at least so far it's all grain. And the rock pile track it's like it's weird. It's kind of like
Okay,
they
I
just
found
slough
that
cars
one.
there or slough like it's like whenever they don't have room elsewhere.
Maybe like the second largest
or-
EV yard.
I don't even know what the reason is, but for whatever reason they
Should be.
will
hard
just
to get
randomly
real
decide they're
answers
going to put an
because it's
outbound
always-
train there. Sometimes they'll put inbound trains there. I've both caught out of there, and I've also
interference to aircraft.
rode trains
Here's
that
somebody
pulled
saying
into
the
there.
largest
So it's It's
Railyard
either
rail
or.
facility
Just-
on the
I
west
don't really
coast
understand the
of
rhyme or reason. Yeah, that's all
915
grain.
acres.
Huh.
The grain.
I mean,
50
it
miles
could
of
be
track.
it could be rice. It could be something, like some kind of animal feed.
247
There's
switches
I guess
to the main line.
anything of that
Wait,
nature
how many
really.
miles of track?
It says 50 miles of
There's a
track
lot of granaries down,
restricted around local area for bulk and
like
intermodal tracks.
God, it seems
going
like
down
it'd be
towards
so much more
Fresno.
than 50 miles.
Yeah.
There's
It's like 7 miles long,
numerous
and there's
ones,
big
especially from
portions
Stockton
that are
and below.
at least like
all the way
what,
down
a mile
to
and a
Bakersfield,
half,
really.
like
There's
all those,
Pixley and
all that classification
There's just
there,
a
the
ton of them.
departure, it's got to be more.
Oh man, I was.
Yeah,
I guess we're
one
over.
says
It's probably
last
500.
year.
Maybe there's it's a typo or something.
Yeah. I think they mean 50 miles of main line nearby.
Okay.
Got it.
Oh, okay.
More than 86 miles of new track. It's
Sure.
really vague,
Yeah.
but 1,800 to 2,300 cars per day classification ability.